Well, a high school athlete in Ohio has been disqualified from a running competition for wearing a headscarf during a race last weekend. 16-year-old Noor Alexandria Abukaram ran her fastest race of the season at 22 minutes, 22 seconds, but her celebration was cut short after she was disqualified. She says she had competed 6 times at her school, Northview High School, wearing a hijab without any issues. To tell us more about her story, Noor joins us now from Toledo, Ohio. Noor, we really appreciate you being with us. And by the way, congratulations on that phenomenal race time. They're saying that this is because you didn't have a waiver. Why do you think you were disqualified?
Why do I think I was disqualified? I think it was because, I had raced in many races before this. So when I was told that I was disqualified at this specific race, at the district race, I was taken by shock because I was like, how come this hasn't happened before in the past? When I'm like talking to different coaches and different people that are involved in cross country a lot, I was like, well, why this time? And they were like, because they get feisty about the rules around, districts and regionals and states and stuff, which to me, I think, if you're going to enforce a rule, then at least be consistent with it.
What has been your experience up until this point being an athlete who wears a hijab?
So overall, it's been a very positive experience. I love wearing hijab and I love doing what I love wearing hijab. Personally, I've never been disqualified or discriminated against in a sport by an official before, but like I said in many other interviews, is that I've always had like a sense of anxiety during these uniform checks, and I think that comes from like hearing stories from my older sister who has faced being discriminated against because of her hijab in sports before. Referees have told her take off your pants, because she's wearing long pants in the sport, and usually everyone else wears shorts. And she's been in a situation where people on the opposing teams would say racial slurs, and when we go to complain to higher authorities and talk about it and say that what they did is not okay, they tell them, well, maybe next time you should write a note, and we can warn our players that you're coming and let them know to check themselves, which
Noor, it's unbelievable to me to hear stories like that, and you would assume that that somebody on the field would recognize that you're wearing a hijab for religious reasons. I look at brands like Nike, and it seems that they have been more inclusive when it comes to Muslim athletes, but just hearing that you have to have a waiver to wear a hijab to even play on the field. I mean, what can you tell us about the sort of change that needs to happen, I guess, in society and here in the United States for there to be more inclusiveness?
So I think the whole idea of, you need to have a waiver signed doesn't make any sense because, rules are in place, to one, make sure that you're safe during the game, and then two, to make sure that nobody has any advantages. And my hijab definitely isn't giving me an advantage, and it's not a contact sport, so my safety isn't what's being thought of here. So with the waiver itself, my coach having to ask for the waiver for a rule that's a verbal rule, so it doesn't exist in writing, so therefore it's not a rule. And then disqualifying me from the race and not giving me the same respect as my teammate, that's just all very disappointing.
Well, Noor Alexandria Abukaram, we really appreciate you coming on to tell us your story. Again, amazing race time. We wish you the best of luck and appreciate you coming on.